Hi everyone, this is Sharan here. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to see the implementation of market-based analysis using the Apriori algorithm. In the previous session, I have explained to you the concept behind the market-based analysis. What are all the various scenarios where it can be used? What are all the various concepts behind the metrics such as support, confidence, as well as lift? How are those metrics being calculated? Why it is important in identifying the various insights? Like how to improve the performance of an a priori algorithm, and what are all the advantages and disadvantages, various steps involved in it. If you have not seen the video, please pause this video, go back to the other video and understand the concept. I will be providing the link to the concept video in the description as well as in the top for you to go through and understand the concepts first before coming to the implementation. So now, once you have seen the video about the market-based analysis and understood what it is, so now it's time to go into the actual implementation and then see how it has been implemented. So as you see on my screen, so these are all the various packages that are required in order to implement the market-based analysis. So let's import all the required packages. And the second one is we are going to read and data set. We are going to use the glossary data set that is available in title. I will be providing the link to this particular data set in the description, and all the scripts as well as the data set that I am using as part of the Learn Data Science in 100 Days series are available in my Git repository as well. So if you want to practice these scripts, what you can do is you can go to my Git repository, download the entire script, and you can work on it as well. So now let me execute this and then show you the actual data set. So this is how the data set looks like. It has various transactional data and the items that are bought in each of those transactions. The first column here, it captures the number of items that are present in that particular transaction, and the subsequent columns captures the items that are bought. So here what it says is it says there are four transactions as part of four items as part of this particular transaction, and these are all the various four items in the subsequent columns. And this is the transactional data that we will be using for implementing the market-based analysis. So next one is we are going to understand what are all the various patterns. The first step that you need to do is you need to understand what are all the various items that are present in the data set. Is there any pattern, right? How frequently those items have been bought? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to identify the top 25 items that are frequently bought by the customers. So these are all the top 25 items. So this is just one analysis. What you can come up with various other analysis. You can try to identify what are all the various items that are being bought together, what are all the various items that comes up together, and then you can see how to come up with the threshold for support as well as the confidence. So this helps in understanding the data set, and it helps us in coming up with the threshold for both support as well as confidence as well. So now you can clearly see what are all the various items that are most popular in the data set and how they are being distributed. So the second step is we need to process the data in order to make sure that it is being in a format that is consumable by the a priori algorithm that we are going to use today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the one-hot encoding, and these are all the various transactions and these are all the various items that are present in the entire data set. And when we have 0, it means that those items are not present in that particular transaction. When we have 1, it means that those items are part of those transactions. This helps the algorithm in understanding what are all the various items that are present or part of various transactions. So once the data has been transformed, then what we can do is we can start using the a priori algorithm. So here what we are going to do is I'm going to set the minimum support, and I'm going to see what are all the various frequent items that are coming up in the data set. So as you see here, when I have a support of 0.01, what I can see is I can see there are about 333 items that are getting filtered. So what I can do is I can try to increase the support by maybe few points and then see how it actually impacts. So now what I can see is I can see the number of items has reduced to 180. So this helps in reducing the number of subset that we are going to pass on to the subsequent steps. It helps in faster processing. As explained in the concept video, a priori algorithm is quite intensive, right? We go and then scan the database multiple times, and hence it is computationally very intense. So in order to improve the performance, what we need to do is we need to come up with a subset of transaction, or we need to come up with a higher threshold for both support as well as confidence. That helps in improving the performance of the algorithm. So the next one is we are going to see what are all the various items that has and support of over 0.1. So when we say support greater than 0.1, we can clearly see that there are very few items. There are close to 10 items that has and support greater than 1. So these are all the most popular items that are present in the data set. So what it means is, it means that these items are present in at least 10% of the transactions. So out of like the 10,000 order transaction, like close to 10,000 transaction, these items come up in at least 10% of the transactions. So moving on to the next one, what we are going to do is we are going to set the minimum threshold for lift, and we are going to identify the various insights or the patterns that are present in the data. So these are all the various patterns. So what it says is, it says like the people who are buying yogurt as well as the tropical fruit are most likely to buy milk. So so the next one that we can see is people who buy milk are most likely to buy chocolate. Like people who buy milk most likely to buy cream cheese. So these are all various combinations or various rules that are present in the data set. So one thing that maybe can be improved on this particular problem is what we can clearly see here is on the top we can see that sausage as well as whole milk are very, very popular in the entire data set. It almost appears in like many transactions. So we can think whether those items, like those items which are extremely popular, should they be removed, or should we increase the lift value in order to ensure that what we are identifying as rules are like very much relevant. So here, so these are all the items which has a lift over 2, which means that they are quite good. Like the patterns are like quite distinctive, and hence their lift value is over 0.2. If we have items like, for example, if we have the popularity for whole milk very high, so then like what would happen is the lift for this particular chord here would be much lower than 1. So lift value of something that is greater than 1 means that there is some kind of a distinctive pattern that is present, right? It is significant enough when we have a lift value over 1. So here, when the lift value is over 2, it means that it is quite significant. So it can be taken as an rule for sure. And the next one is we can try to come up with various filtering condition like for support as well as lift, and then we can see what are all the various rules that are present in the data set. So here what we are trying to do is we are trying to come up with an higher threshold for confidence and a higher threshold for lift to see what are all the various very much distinctive patterns present in the data set. So these are all the various methods by which the analysis can be done for market-based analysis to extract the various insights. And once we extract all these insights, then these recommendations should be passed on to the business stakeholders in order to do the actual changes. If it is a physical store, they would be doing the changes to the physical store. If it is an online shopping, so then there will be changes to those online shopping to ensure that the items that are coming up in the recommendation are appearing in the same page. So it increases the probability of user purchasing all the items together. So that's it for now. I hope you would have understood about the implementation of the a priori algorithm, or how to perform the market-based analysis. This particular scenario can be used in various other cases as well. Like whenever the data is similar to a grocery data set, it can be used in marketing campaigns as well. So when we want to send out an email campaign with the various offers, what we can do is we can understand various items that are bought by the user, and we can identify various other items that are most similar to those. And we can send out the various campaigns to those users to increase the probability of buying those additional items. So these are all some of the use cases, and you can come up with various other use cases. And if you have any unit use case, please mention them in the comment as well. So that's it for now, and see you in the next session. Bye until then.